Hey guys, Rob Sattler here doing a review for Hyperlite mountain gear. Just got back from doing one of Australia's only long trails, the Heysen Trail down in South Australia. So it's very down the bottom of the continent. 1,200 kilometre trail. We just did the first 72 kilometres over 4 days, walking along the Southern Ocean coastline. Absolutely spectacular. So if you're sick of the crowds on the PCT or the Appalachian Trail, get on down here to Australia and check out some of ours. They're incredible. So anyway, just doing a quick review. I got some gear from Hyperlite Mountain Gear, some of the new pack pods and some of the new Dyneema Composite Fabric stuff sacks to check out. So I've always been a Hyperlite Mountain Gear fan. I've got a 3400 Southwest. And as a lot of you guys would find with packing gear into one of these things, and most packs in general, by the time you get a sleeping bag, and also your different stuff sacks with clothing and food and that sort of thing, and you often find the problem with them is they're round and they're often like soccer balls and they just don't really fit into a pack like this properly. So what I'm going to show you is one of the coolest things that Hyperlite Mountain Gear have come out with recently is their new pack pods. So I'll just show you one of those here. So that's a large one there. There goes the pack. What I'm going to do is quickly stuff one of these sleeping bag into one of these and just show you what they're like and how well they fit into a pack. So this sleeping bag is a Pacesetter sleeping bag from Kathmandu, an Australian New Zealand brand. It's a -9 temperature bag, so that's Celsius of course because we use metric down here. So that's I think what, 20 degrees sleeping bag in the old scale in Fahrenheit. So by stuffing one of these, I'll just quickly show you how that works into one of these new pack pods. I'll show you just how much space how much gear you can fit into one of these things, and also show you the benefits of why you actually get one as opposed to just sticking with your current stuff sack that your sleeping bag would come into, or alternatively getting a normal stuff sack. So we squish that in there. So that's obviously a very warm sleeping bag. Being -9, that's 10 degrees below freezing in our Celsius scale. So that's a very warm bag, and as you can see, that fits very easily into one of the large stuff pods. So these are made out of, I believe it's the DCF11, the Dyneema Composite Fabrics, or formerly Cuben Fiber material you would have heard of. So waterproof zips. Very, very tough fabric. Like it's very, very difficult to push a ballpoint pen through that and puncture it. So the cool thing is it kind of hides your gear, but at the same time you can quickly see what's in each stuff pod. Now, you'd be asking why would you get one of these instead of using like an oversized stuff sack or just your normal stuff sack your sleeping bag comes in. And I'll show you why. It's like this. I'll just tilt the camera down a little bit so you can see it. What they've done is they've designed these packs, these stuff pods, to be the exact same profile as what your pack is. So you can see your pack's like a D shape. This is the same. And the beauty is, by the time you put one of these down and into your pack, stuff it right to the bottom, as you can see there, it basically takes up all the space. So because it's the same shape as your pack, there's no air gaps. So normally you'd be trying to, stuff multiple footballs into a hike pack and have all those bits of empty space that you're trying to fill up with, either gloves or other small things. Now with these stuff pods, what you could do, obviously sleeping bags are one of the last things you'll have to use on the trail during the day, so they can get packed first. And then you buy other stuff pods to stack on top for food, clothing, and other gear. So what I'll do is I'll grab one of the small ones as well. It's one of the little ones, and instead of using my traditional sil-nylon stuff sack, I will instead, now this is just hiking clothing for cold weather, so just a fleece, down jackets currently in the wash after our last adventure. So I've just got some trail pants, a lightweight polar fleece there, and some leggings and a pair of shorts, and I'll show you how that would fit into one of these. Now on this Heysen Trail trip that we just did recently, my partner and I, we basically used, I used the large stuff pod for my sleeping bag as you saw, but this smaller one we used for food, and it was amazing to have the food packed away in it, and just very, very simply just drop straight into your pack, straight on top of the other one. and it makes packing so much easier because there's no big air gaps in your pack anymore. So I'll just zip that up. So obviously the material is waterproof and it has got a water resistant zip. I know a lot of people complain and go, oh, your Hyperlite mountain gear, you say that your gear's all waterproof. Well, it is, the material is, and most of the construction is, but they're not designed to be held underwater like a proper dry bag. They are meant to, including with your pack obviously, to keep everything completely dry. Unless you're holding it underwater for several minutes, then you'll get water into it. But the worst thunderstorms I've been in some crazy downpours and never had a single problem with just the pack alone, let alone having a waterproof dry bag as well. So, as you can see, that extra stuff pod, that's a small one. And that, I'll just tilt the camera back down again. You can see the other one in there. That one just fits straight in on top. And again, no more air gaps. So, by the time you've got, say, 4 of these, one for sleeping bag, one for clothing, one for food, and then one for other small items, or even 3, you've used up the good quantity of your pack, but everything's organized. So when you want your clothes, you've just got one dry bag to pull out, or one stuff pod to pull out. When you want your food, you've only got one to pull out again, rather than having multiple stuff sacks and little things all squished in here. Now it just means that you can have snacks on top, a hat, beanie, or whatever it is you want to have on top, head torch for later in the day, stove, kit, and that sort of thing can sit easily on the top rather than trying to be stuffed in the bottom with other dry bags. So that's the new stuff pods. They're totally awesome. You definitely should invest in getting some. After having this last adventure, I would definitely not be going hiking again without having some stuff pods because that just makes life so much easier. Some other gear I did get from them as well, some of their new DCF 11 and DCF 8 gear. So these are some of their new stuff sacks with their new logos. Obviously I got a t-shirt as well when I ordered my gear. Thanks Lizzie. And basically, they when you first buy them, they look all nice and shiny like this. You can see that it's very silvery. But then after you've used them once, they do tend to get a little bit, you can almost see that they're a bit scrunched like that. But it's just a visual thing, that's all, a cosmetic thing I should say. They're absolutely indestructible. Like they're incredibly tough, very, very hard to puncture, and of course waterproof. So they've seam sealed these all the way around. Draw cord at the top obviously isn't waterproof, but for the most part everything else is. So we found these were great also for chucking food in and small items, like a stove, a pot, and then I also got some smaller ones as well of the new DCF 8 fabric. It's a lighter grade fabric, still indestructible, for like as a ditty bag as you say, so putting all little accessory items in. This one here had electronics and cables and that sort of stuff in them as well. So you just draw them up and they just go straight in the top of your pack or in the side. And I'll just quickly show you where they are. So on the Hyperlite gear site, they're just under stuff sacks. So if you ever look under stuff sacks and stuff pods, they're the 2 stuff pods that I've used for this one. And then also I've got a collection of the other DCF 11, DCF 8 stuff sacks. So I've been wanting to get a hold of some for a while, and when I did, I'm so glad I did. So if I can say anything, definitely invest in getting some, especially if you've already got some Hyperlite mountain gear packs. Getting the stuff pods especially will make a big difference. So I'm Rob Sattler. I've got a Flipboard magazine called Ultralight Hiking and Camping. Check that out on Flipboard, and look forward to seeing you for another review soon. Thanks, bye.